All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our October 3rd, 2024 meeting of the Ascension Parish Council. We'll call it to order, and I'm asking Mr. Arsenault, please lead us in the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Dear God, thank you for another great day at Ascension Parish. I pray that you be with us this evening as we make decisions that affect our parish. We pray that you bless our decisions and bless this parish and those who take the right for us to be. In the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Arsenault. Item number 2, roll call. Mr. Secretary, please note that Mr. Robert, Mr. Turner, and Mr. Mason are absent. All other members are present. Item number 3, chairs edition. I don't have any chairs edition, but we do have, there's Mr. Robert. We do have Mr. Ballard is going to give us a quick update on what's going on with our Veterans Park.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to rattle for a minute. I am the chairman of the Ascension Parish Park Foundation, Memorial Park Foundation, and I work with different groups in trying to do a little upkeep and bring attention to the park itself. Recently, I got involved with the Home Depot. The Home Depot is going to do a project at the park on the 19th of October, starting at 8 a.m. It will go to noon. They're going to spend $13,000 in that park. They're going to refurbish some of the stuff. Our kiosks need help. They're going to take out some old shrubbery, put in new shrubbery, freshen up the backdrop flag at the pavilion. They're going to build a platform for us to put a plaque to dedicate that pavilion. They just want to do a lot of work to help veterans here, and their purpose is only not advertisement or not publicity, but to help the veterans. That's what this project is all about. And we've got Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, the Miss Tia Starr with the Park Foundation. She's going to put together a group of volunteers. Miss Matassa and I will put together a media publication so we can put it out to all of news medias and put it all out. So, and it seems like we got a good thing going. And I just wanted the council to be aware of some of the things that's going on in the park itself and the community that's helping us keep this park as pretty as it is and update. So, thank you, sir, for your time, and I invite everyone on the council to join me on the 11th of November at 11 a.m. when we have our Veterans Day ceremony. I think you will enjoy it. Good evening, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard. All right, agenda item number 4, the public comment sign-in period. If anyone would like to speak on any of our agenda items, we have some forms right here on the podium. Fill them out, get that to us. When we get to that specific agenda item, you will have 3 minutes to come speak. And item number 5, presentation. We have Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy. We got our Executive Director, Laura Batto, and Academy Chair, Kristen Anselmi. Did I say that right? Oh, I'm proud of myself. Welcome. Thank y'all.
Okay. Good evening. I'm Dr. Laura Batto, and I'm director of the Louisiana Center for Women in Government and Business. Because of a little bit of challenges, I have a challenge in that I have a bird brain bleed, right, 2 of them. So my family will get you our. I am sorry, y'all.
Oh, don't apologize.
Right, exactly. At least you're not having to listen to me, because Thibodeau doesn't want to. All right. Yes.
Okay, so Dr. Batto had a brain bleed and has done 2 surgeries in the past, within the past year and a half. And so you can't tell right at this moment, but she is a world-renowned speaker that has dedicated her life to empowering women in leadership roles. And 25 years ago, she took over the Center for Women in Government and Business in Louisiana. And she's done countless programs to launch women into civic leadership roles and into entrepreneurial positions. So today we're going to talk about one of our flagship programs, but Dr. Batto was actually named one of the most prestigious women in Louisiana by our president. So we're very proud of her and all that she's done. And in our academy, she is one of our speakers, and we always get rave reviews. And this year was especially moving because she scored much higher, and it was because they felt like that she had found another way to find her voice in a difficult time. So I am Kristen Anselmi. I am the program director for the center, and my full-time job, I'm the director of university marketing at Nichols. This is my passion project, working with the center, specifically LGLA, Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy, which Dr. Batto started 18 years ago. In those 18 years, we have worked with hundreds of women. And the program focuses on leadership, communication, networking, and teamwork. Basically, the young women that we're taking are women that they want to be entrepreneurs, they want to be like you, they want to be civic leaders. And they come through this almost like a crash course, and it's at Nichols. It's over a 4-day period. And we line up speakers from all over the state to come, and everybody comes for free. Everybody really believes in this program. So we have tons of people like yourself. Leslie Harris came, and I don't know if y'all have the electronic version that we sent in front of you, but I mean, we cover every aspect. We even bring in people to work with them on public speaking and so forth. I put in a lot of the results of LGLA within that document, that 100% of the participants felt empowered by what they learned. They all were moved because for once, they're in a room with people that are just like them. A lot of these young women will say, I thought I was, different, and I don't really connect with other people at my high school. So going through this program, they meet lifelong friends. And it is an incredible, incredible opportunity that is completely free. We're able to do that through our own funding sources. Laura and I hit the road, basically, and we find sponsors on the road. And we have also looked for grant opportunities. So you will have young women that are from Mount Carmel Academy sitting next to young women from East Ascension High School. You'll see women from New Orleans next to women from Grand Isle. So it is an incredible opportunity. And some of the stats, statewide, we had over 280 applications last year for this program. We were funded to take 29%. Which is an incredible thing. We had 4 or I think 5 women from high schools within this area, and that includes homeschool. 96% of those women that were going into college, graduating high school, enrolled in college. 90% of those young women enrolled at Nichols down the street. So these are women that are coming, and they're coming back to our community and staying in our service region. Their cumulative grade point average was a 3.6. We had young women that, we had Miss Wheelchair USA in our room. We had Advocates for Autism Speaks. We have young women that started skincare lines that are being sold on QVC. So we have the brightest minds in the room. So what we're here today to talk about is how Ascension Parish can partner with us. We've already partnered with Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish. And what we went and we asked of them is, can you make those introductions for us? How do we get more applications? Can you connect us with young women that you think would be a fit for our program? Can you connect us with businesses that would believe in our mission and help us fund a young woman, or help us sponsor one of those speakers or one of those programs that we have? It is expensive. It's about $700 per participant, and majority of that is housing and food. I think it's 80% of the cost is housing and food on a university campus. So also connecting with businesses that would be interested in hosting a seminar, or connecting with the Center for Women in Government and Business and the things that we do, Campaign Institute, Women's Hall of Fame, all of those great programs. And the last items you're going to see are the testimonies of young women that attended. and the remarkable words about the program and how it has changed their lives. We even have some text messages from people that sponsored that they texted me. I spoke with parents about what this program meant to their daughter and the things that they're implementing back in their high schools once they leave, the things that they're doing in college. I ran into a young woman on campus the other day, Miley, and she told me, I just signed up for student government and I'm going to be the freshman representative for the College of Business. And I was like, that's amazing. So we're seeing them that they are taking those skills and going out into the world and making a difference. So we're here today to present that to you, and we would love to connect with anyone that you feel like might be a match for our organization. And some parishes do, Lafourche and Terrebonne do, they make donations on behalf of the parish to fund some of women from their parish to make sure that they have seats in the program. And so that is also an option. But we have our contact information, and if anybody has any questions about the program, we're here to answer.
I'm looking at your stats right here, and the thing that pops out to me is the 92% felt they found their voice and refined their public speaking. And like in today's youth and generation, I think that's huge because we all know, like, they don't have social skills. They grew up on social media, on their phones and whatnot. I have a almost 17-year-old daughter, and like we went to college night 2 weeks ago, and I had to push her to the booth because I'm like, just go up there and talk to her. She's like, what do I say? And it was an eye-opening thing. I'm like, you don't know how to go talk to these grown-ups? And so look, and I'm 37 years old, and I've been stuttering since I was 3 years old. So like, that's a big deal to me, refining it and working through, whatever insecurities they have. That's pretty impressive.
One of the groups that we bring in is an improv group from LA, and they actually come in and they work with them and teach them how to use improv when they're uncomfortable in speaking situations and how to matriculate that on a stage, because not everybody is born with a Dr. Batto presence. Yeah, they really love that, and that really helps them a lot to break through that speaking challenges. And we also teach how introverts can be leaders too.
Awesome. So Mr. Arsenault and then Mr. Robert both have questions, comments as well.
So this is high school age girls?
It is. We take women in going into ninth grade through 12th grade. And I will say our primary demographic of young women that get in, because it's a point system, it's gotten so popular that they write an essay, they tell us about the organizations that they're involved in, they give us their grade point average, and they have a sponsor that will write an email on their behalf. So after that, usually the women that get in end up being juniors and seniors.
And so it's in the summertime before?
Summertime,
How long
in
is the
July,
program?
4-day program.
But we also, many of the people that want to come, they become officers in the classes or what have you. We want people to be out there. Okay,
You got it.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
I'd love to talk more after.
Thank you.
Mr. Robert.
Yeah, it's a very impressive program, great asset, especially for young women in an entrepreneur environment. What are y'all looking for? What would y'all like?
We would like help connecting with people that may be presenters for our program. We like to bring in people, like if you know, especially women, they love to talk to female business owners. If you know somebody that has a great presence and has a great story, they love that. That is something everybody in this generation, even though they won't want to talk to in person, they all want to be they all want their own business. They all want to be an entrepreneur. So that would be a great help, and then also helping us connect with businesses that would be interested in sponsoring a young woman or sponsoring one of the programs within LGLA.
Okay.
Would be a huge helps.
Any businesses, because we need the money to get the
Absolutely.
people
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, if you contact me, I'll sponsor one of them. But
Well, certainly.
yeah, absolutely.
Now she can speak fine.
Yes, ma'am. And clearly y'all have spoken with the university and worked out the best arrangements they can for payment of your.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 'cause I mean,
The
it's
problem
not-
is inflation.
And I get
It's
it.
costing
that's
us
not
about,
that bad
I
for 4
think,
days.
I think it's costing us 30% more than it did 2 years ago.
And how are y'all feeding the girls for those
We
days?
feed them through the university.
Okay.
And we do have businesses sometimes that the university will let businesses come
I
in
was gonna say,
and
it
cater.
wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe have somebody cater at least lunch one
Absolutely.
of each of the days to
Yeah, we
decrease
do.
it.
If any businesses step forward, and sometimes they can't just write a check, but they'll say, we'll sponsor a meal
Yeah.
for 100 people.
But
and so we
just
put it
get
in.
in contact with me. Best way is cell phone, and we'll work some stuff out. Absolutely. But yeah, I'll keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And just so I understand the economics, is it as simple as for every $800 donation you get, that's another young lady who gets
Absolutely.
into the program?
That's what we do. And we can connect them as well. Like I know Terrebonne Parish, a lot of the people that came forward, they were like, I'd like them to be from Terrebonne Parish specifically.
Right.
Or they would even say, you know, from us, like if they know a student that they'd like to see, like I have this amazing young woman that's at Dutchtown that I'd like to see in your program. Would you look at her application? Those kind of connections.
Okay. Anyone else? Well, I tell you, Dr. Batto, I love you. You're fantastic. And thank y'all so much for coming. This is
She causes a lot of trouble.
No.
I'm going to try to get her home before the parade that we found out from Jaron is coming. I also have a QR code in there that leads you directly to our page and our office number. And I believe all of my email, everything is in this presentation. Please reach out if you have any questions or if you know somebody and would like to connect. Thank y'all so much for having us.
Oh no, don't you, Eric? Eric, it's underneath.
It's underneath.
Get her leg. Thank you so much. And thank you, Miss Kristen. Thank you.
I don't have them. Really, I don't have them. That's just the, look, she has,
Yeah.
look, she has.
She is awesome. All right, moving along. Agenda item number 6, the parish president's report. Mr. Quinmall.
Thank you, Chairman Melanson. Good evening, Council. Ascension Parish was approved with federal declaration for debris removal. Debris removal began September 23rd. Currently, we have 2 trucks, one on the west bank and one on the east bank. A 3rd truck will be added for the Prairieville area this Friday, October 4th. DOTD also hired DRC for their debris removal as their vendor. So this is critical because DRC is who we use, and they will work the state highways as we work the parish roads. So it really helps us get this cleaned up quickly. So big shout out to DOTD. The FEMA Disaster Recovery Center in Donaldsonville is open at the Lemon Center. No appointment is necessary. It's open Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. DRC will move to Lamar-Dixon when the need in Donaldsonville declines. Household Hazardous Material Collection Day is this Saturday, October 5th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Lamar-Dixon. I encourage everyone to take this opportunity to safely dispose of items such as tires, fluorescent bulbs, batteries, paints, appliances, televisions, and more. Also, this Saturday, October 5th, the Live Well Ascension event will take place at the Jambalaya Park at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. At this event, there will be free cancer screenings along with other wellness-related benefits. October is Breast Cancer and Domestic Violence Awareness Month. To help spread awareness, Ascension Parish government employees will wear pink on October 10th and purple on October 17th. At this time, I want to ask Mr. Brandon Smith to come up to the podium. I'm happy to introduce Brandon Smith as our new Recreation Director. Brandon comes from Breck, with 23 years of recreation management experience, where his most recent role was the Assistant Superintendent. So I'd like to invite Brandon to come up and say a few words.
Thank you all. Well, good evening, Council. I'm honored to be here tonight. First, I'd like to thank you all and the administration for providing me this opportunity to serve the citizens of Ascension Parish. It's a tremendous honor. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a lifelong resident of Louisiana. I've been here for over 47 years, but on the outside of Ascension Parish, kind of in the southeast Baton Rouge areas. But over those years, I've been able to see the progress and all the great efforts that have taken place at Ascension. I've played ball in Ascension Parish. I've, of course, driven through Ascension Parish and seen everything over those years expand. So I'm happy to become a part of that, and we're hitting the ground running of trying to move forward with those efforts through the park system. For the past 23 years, as Clint mentioned, I've had the honor of being the Assistant Superintendent, well, the last 5 years, Assistant Superintendent at Breck through that park system, overseeing the Recreation Department, which oversaw 20 or 50 or more recreation centers and 20 or more special interest venues. So a lot of responsibility and programming that took place in those areas. And I look forward to bringing some of those expertise to the Parks and Rec system here in Ascension and enhancing the great things that are already taking place. And of course, make recreation an important part of a person's life and something that is essential to the functions of what we do. So I certainly appreciate you all welcoming me. It's great to have y'all's support. I look forward to working with you all a little bit more closely. Anything that you ever need, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to help, and I'm excited to get started. So thank you all very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes my report, Chair. Thank you.
All right. Thank you there, Mr. Cuomo. All right, item number 7, under general business, 7A, approval of the cooperative debit agreement and local services agreement between Ascension Parish School Board and Ascension Parish Government for reciprocal use of facilities at no cost to either party. I got a motion by Ms. PT, a second by Mr. Vornado. Any questions for Mr. Compton? Any objection? Hearing none? So moved. And just for clarification, we do want to pass on 7B tonight. Okay. We don't have to make I'm gonna read it into the record, and administration is just asking that we don't make a motion on it. 7B, approval of the intergovernmental agreement between Ascension Parish Government, Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office, and East Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District Number 1 for the use and hauling of dirt materials for various APSO construction locations in the former alumina plant as part of the closure plan outlined in the intergovernmental agreement with LDEQ. All right, Chair hears no motion. We'll move on to the next one. Introduction of ordinances. 8A, introduction of an ordinance to purchase 0.85 acre tract of property located at 42060 Church Point Road at a price of not to exceed $100,000 for the purpose of relocation of the DPW East recycling facility. Motion introduced by Ms. Alonzo. Public hearing ordinances. 9A, reading of an ordinance to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from medium intensity residential to mixed use 2, zoning review ID PZ-3460.24, lot E1 of the 110 by 320 foot lot and 106.6 foot by 320 lot, redesigned as lot L and lot E into lot L1 and E1 for Shelley Sanchez, located on the north side, Highway 74, approximately 200 feet west of Cary Lane. Mr. Dupatti.
Thank you, Chair. Purpose to this ordinance amends the official zoning designation for lot E1, attached legal description from medium intensity residential to mixed use 2. This rezone is identified as zoning review ID PZ-3460.24 for Ascension Parish, a local governmental subdivision as defined by Article 6, Section 44 of the Louisiana Constitution of 1974. And whereas the Parish of Ascension is the governing and responsible body over the zoning and regulations within the jurisdiction, and whereas the Article 6 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish adopted May 4, 1993 identifies the process and manner in which to adopt ordinances regulating the lands of this parish, and whereas the official zoning map for Ascension Parish was last adopted on March 8, 2016, and whereas the Parish Council reserves the authority to make changes to the official zoning map by ordinance, and whereas this request has been proposed in compliance with the procedures set forth, be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority that the official zoning map of Ascension Parish, Louisiana is amended to reflect the property description identified in Exhibit A as Mixed Use 2 as the official zoning designation. Severability in the event any portion of this ordinance ever held invalid or unconstitutional for any reason by any court of competent jurisdiction over it, such portion shall be deemed a separate, distinct, and independent provision and shall not affect the validity of the remaining portion of the ordinance. Effective date, this ordinance shall be in full effect as permitted by law. Exhibits, legal description, plat map, area zoning map. Adoption, this ordinance has been submitted to vote. The vote thereon is as follows.
Open public hearing by Mr. Robert. I got a second by Mr. Vornado. Motion to close public hearing by Ms. Peattie and a second by Mr. Vornado. Motion to move the ordinance by Mr. Vornado. A second by Mr. Hillingsbeck. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none. So moved. 9D, reading of an ordinance to amend Appendix 2 of the Unified Land Developmental Code 07-2038 to add solar farm conditional use. Mr. Dupatti.
Purpose to amend the Ascension Parish Unified Land Development Code, LDC, Appendix 2, Development Code, to add Section 17-2038, solar farm conditional use. Whereas the Parish of Ascension desires to encourage solar energy production investment by providing a fair and predictable process for the deployment of solar farms, while enabling the parish to promote the management of those facilities in the overall interest of the public health, safety, and welfare. And whereas the parish recognizes that solar farms are important to delivering environmentally conscious electrical power and capacity to the electrical grid for services to homes and businesses within the parish. And whereas the parish intends to fully comply with state and federal law to the extent it preempts or conflicts with local municipal control, now therefore be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Council that Appendix 2 Development Code of the Ascension Parish Unified Land Development Code shall be amended by adding the following section, 17-2038, that will read more fully described in Exhibit A attached to and made part hereof. Severability in the event any portion of this ordinance ever held invalid or unconstitutional for any reason by any court of competent jurisdiction over it, such portion shall be deemed a separate, distinct, and independent provision and shall not affect the validity of the remaining portion of the ordinance. Effective date, this ordinance shall be in full effect as permitted by law. This ordinance has been submitted to a vote. The vote thereon was as follows.
Motion to open public hearing by Mr. Robert, second by Mr. Arsenault.
Motion to close.
Motion to close by Mr. Joseph, second by Mr. Arsenault. Yeah, Mr. Robert.
So for this particular item, do we have any language in this ordinance that will prevent, and let me tell you where I'm going with this. I've read a lot about solar farms and looked into them years ago, and they're a great asset, but one of the big problems with them as far as municipalities is the solar farms will build and the solar panels over years will deteriorate, and they'll leave them there and do nothing with them, and it's just an eyesore. So I didn't know if we had any type of code or anything to
Yes, I mean,
prevent that?
there's a cleanup clause, paragraphs in there to take care of that. There is a yearly inspection fee that is a part of that as well, so that every year before hurricane season, they have to go through and they have to make sure that everything is up to snuff, make any repairs, tie anything down that needs to be done. So we've covered all of that.
Okay, and as far as the zoning or as far as the use, are you gonna have a lot of these in your more rural areas, I'm assuming, or?
Yes, we left it open to every zoning category but the Conservation 5 zoning category. It was our opinion that most of it would be in the rural areas where you have large tract of lands.
Well,
And of course, that was one of the reasons we wanted to make it a conditional use, because any application would have to come to you guys for approval, and you could set conditions on whatever the approval is.
Okay, and that would include on top of structures and things like that, clearly.
Mhm.
All right, thank you, sir.
Any more questions from Ms. Bochet? I do have a motion by Mr. Peattie and a second by Mr. Hillingsbeck. Ms. Turner? No. Oh, you want to look at me? He's pointing to his chest. I'm like, what? All right, any objection to the ordinance? Hearing none, so moved. 9G, reading of an ordinance, to enter into an intergovernmental agreement between the Ascension Parish government and the city of Donaldsonville, an act of cash sale for certain property owned by Ascension Parish government, La La Ruggiero Field. Mr. Dupatti.
Purpose to transfer via an intergovernmental agreement and act of cash sale certain property owned by Ascension Parish government to the city of Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Whereas the parish of Ascension through the Ascension Parish Council under lawful session on July 18, 2024 declared a surplus a piece of property known more commonly as La La Ruggiero Field, more fully described in Exhibit A, consisting of 2 pages and attached here 2. And whereas the Ascension Parish government would like to sell this said property described in Exhibit A to the city of Donaldsonville, Louisiana via an intergovernmental agreement attached as Exhibit B, and per the stipulations and conditions stated therein. Now therefore be it ordained that the Ascension Parish Governing Authority does hereby authorize the sale of the property commonly known as La La Ruggiero Field, more fully described in Exhibit A, and signing of an intergovernmental agreement described in Exhibit B, and the stipulations and conditions contained therein. Said exhibits are attached here too, and made a part hereof. Effective date, this ordinance shall be in full effect permitted by law. This ordinance having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Motion to open public hearing.
Motion to open the public hearing by Mr. Joseph. Second by Mr. Vornado. Motion to close by Mr. Vornado, a second by Mr. Joseph. Motion moved, ordinance by Mr. Vornado, and a second by Mr. Joseph. Any questions? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved. Motion adjourned by Mr. Vornado, a second by Mr. Beatty. We are adjourned. Thank you.